up, guys? Today I have a very different kind of video to share with you. I recently acquired a very old and rare deck of cards. It's something that kind of goes back to the 1970s actually, and obviously I wasn't alive in the 1970s, but when I was first getting started in cardistry in the mid-2000s, I first heard about this deck, the Jerry Nugget deck, from some of the guys that were kind of, you know, inventing and creating and inspiring the art form that we know today as cardistry. Guys like Dan and Dave Buck, who invented many of the early two-handed cuts that inspired a whole generation of cardists to develop their own material. They were using these cards, and after doing some research, I've found out that there are many mysteries surrounding this deck, but that is not really what I want to talk about or show in this video. Maybe that's for a video in the future where I can kind of dive into the details of the history of this deck. But for this video, what I really want to share with you is the idea that this is a deck of cards that hasn't been opened in over 50 years. And we're going to open it. So with that said, let's get into it. Got here a nice plastic case. Whoever owned this before me really took care of it. Probably had many owners, but I could never justify spending the money on these. So when an opportunity came up to have one, I took it. So and the cellophane is actually breaking in my hand right now. That's how old this is. That's pretty unbelievable. Normally you'd have to tear the red tab. Didn't even have to do that. Just hold it and it's automatically open. Amazing. Amazing. You can actually see the yellow tint on the box from the paper aging. We've got the seal here. The glue doesn't even hold anymore on that seal. That's remarkable, but expected. This is very old. Now this deck is very rare because of the unique handling properties of how cards used to be made back then. So we'll have to see what kind of differences we can spot. These cards. Wow, these are very stiff playing cards. Wow. I've never opened a deck and had a card that stiff. Wow. You could just hear the sound difference in that pop. I hope that didn't kill your ears. I'll make sure to edit that in post. See how they fan. Right out of the box, not too bad. Again, they're very stiff, even for a pressure fan. See, twin fans. surprising. They spread beautifully right out of the box. This deck of cards is over 50 years old, people. And it fans beautifully. Let's try shuffle. Again, this deck is going to take a little bit to break it in. Wow. Amazing. You know, I'm really going to have to spend some time with this deck. Already I can see some of the cards are getting a little oily from the oils in my hands, you know, the natural oils that we all have on our skin. But that's to be expected when it hasn't been touched in over 50 years. Wow. This is like a dream come true. Truly, because I've always imagined what a brand new deck of Jerry Nuggets would feel like. And here it is. Finally, the card man gets to open a Jerry Nugget deck. They're so stiff. I can't get over that. They are very stiff cards, and it's gonna be really interesting to see how these hold up over time. I would say that's the biggest thing that I notice as far as what's different about them. They feel like they don't feel thicker than a regular deck. They really don't feel thicker. I mean, I've handled black decks before that are very thick because of all the ink on the cards, and the stock needs to be thicker to handle all the ink on the cards. But this deck does not feel thick, and yet the cards are incredibly stiff. Now that could also be because they've, you know, all the moisture from the cards has just completely left them from their age. But, you know, and the paper itself seems to have its color despite the age, which is a good thing, I think. It's amazing how these cards can hold up for as long as they have. And I'm just excited to see, like I said, over time, my thoughts. But these are my first reactions to the deck, and wow. Well, thank you for taking the time to share this with me. Like I said, it's not every day you get to open a deck of cards that's as old as this. I'm just looking at the edges right now. They were cut over 50 years ago. Just to arrive here for all of you and for me. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. If you guys want to see more videos in the future about cards, or like opening interesting decks, or, you know, maybe a little history video about the Jerry Nuggets, leave me a comment. maybe I'll do some research and make another video about them. I also have the Jerry Nugget replica playing cards that were made in 2019. They have more of a modern feel, but this is vintage. Vintage Jerry Nugget playing cards. I know I'm nerding out right now, but for anybody who maybe drinks expensive wine or appreciates a vintage muscle car, you know what I'm talking about here. You know, at least a little bit, about why this is kind of cool. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. And I hope you're having a very, very happy holiday as well. We just finished Thanksgiving and Santa's coming, so make sure you're being nice. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh, that's stiff. Really gotta break these in. Oh, they just explode.